Hello all, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the LD only walkthrough series. This is episode 33. So I had a few days there where I couldn't record any videos, and we've made some good progress on the LD only account, and so we're going to walk through some of that progress. I wanted to show you that Summoner's Way is now almost completed. And we were able to complete Spiritual Realm B10 on auto, doing that 10 times in a row without losing. Now my Spiritual Realm team is not as stable as what I want it to be. In fact, I've changed it up from the last time I showed a video about that. But I'll be doing a video on that soon once I get it more stable. So we got the Devilmon from that, and now we can get the Legendary Scroll. And now the Spiritual Realm part of the challenge part is done, so all that's left is the Dimension Hole. And then clearing Trial Ascension. And then we'll get another 1,000 crystals. So I'm hoping to do that tomorrow, so we're almost done with Summoner's Way. Yes, and so we just finished the Siege tournament, and we finished, let's go check real quick. So we finished G1. We won some, we lost some, but we had really nice participation, so good job HereGang. That was pretty awesome. I even got a few wins in here and there with my LD only account when I had a good offense against a defense that I had a counter for. So, and we finished G1, and that's why we have all these rewards. So 2,000 crystals, which is just awesome. It's such a good reward. So if you're in an account, if you have an account and you're in a guild that doesn't try at all for Guild Siege and can't get up to G1, it really doesn't take that good a rune quality to be able to at least get to G1 and kind of hang out there in the Siege tournament. And then you get these really nice rewards. So 2,000 crystals, and this is for the end of the tournament reward. And then 1,000 guild points and 500, what are these called? We'll look at those in a second. 500 of those, and then we got 4 effects. So we're not going to go to the transmog right now, because we're going to figure out who we want to put those on. So if you go into arena, you go into shop, go into guild seal shop. So those are the guild seals are the only way you can get those are through the Guild Siege tournament, and you can redeem them for basically a lot of transmogs and things like that. But I now have 600 of them. You can modify how your buildings look, but none of that really helps you have a better win rate or better success. And then you can also change transmogs. But what I really like here is just all these scrolls. So we can definitely get all of the mystical scrolls. So there's 150 points gone. So I can show you the team I really wanted to highlight here, which is Steel Fortress B10. And this is the team. And this team just rocks for Steel Fortress B10. So we're going to get it started, and then we'll discuss it a little bit, and then we'll show you the runes at the end. Steel Fortress has always been one of the more difficult dungeons for me. Even my dots team on my main account fails once in a while on Steel Fortress 10. And I've tried watching for it. It doesn't happen very often, once out of 50 or 70 runs or something. It's still happening. I've never been able to catch it to see what it was doing, why it was failing. So one of the things I really wanted to do with this LD only account is I wanted to really come up with a solid SF10 team that I could use to auto and have it be fairly fast, at least less than 2 minutes, and ideally under a minute. But I don't have the rune quality yet to be under a minute. This team has been doing quite well, and I think it's probably going to be my permanent SF10 team, as I get better rune quality, it's just going to be faster and do more damage. Now I only have one big damage dealer. Crow just does massive damage when you have 5+ debuffs on the boss. And so we'll talk about how this, so a minute and 27, my best has been a minute and 10 with this exact team. And so I really like this team. I think it's really good. And it's very free to play. You've got a fusion monster here. Crow is a secret dungeon. Loren is a secret dungeon. Fran, the game gives her to you, and you can buy her with ancient coins. And then Zinc is you have to pull him as an LD3. You can use Gina instead, but you also have to pull her. And she needs to be 2/8, so she's even more investment. And I was originally running this team with Gina in Zinc's slot, and it still failed a decent amount. Once out of every 20 runs or so, it would fail. So far, this team has just been spectacular. It's kind of making me very nervous to run this team on video, because that's generally when things fail. But it's, knock on wood, this has been really solid. So the way this team works is that Zinc is first, and he's the main monster I use for blocking beneficial effects. I would say 7 times out of 10, when Zinc first hits the boss wave, he has his skill 3 ready, and he uses it right away. And so anytime you're running a Steel Fortress 10 team, you want your beneficial effects blocker to be the first monster that moves when you hit the boss wave. And you want them to have their block beneficial effects skill ready. If you were just doing a normal account team for SF10, you would want to have the Wind Kung Fu Girl and just have her faster than everybody else, and 2 of her 3 skills block beneficial effects. So if she goes first and she puts that on, you're golden. And it's the same thing with Zinc. If he has his skill 3 ready, when you get to the boss and he uses it right away, the boss stage is not very long, even with just 1 damage dealer. So speed tuning for this team is very important. You always want your beneficial effects blocker to go first. So Zinc moves first, and then after he puts it up there, I have Fran and Loren go, so that Crow, my damage dealer, always has an attack buff on him, or most of the time has an attack buff on him, and then Loren provides a defense break if Zinc doesn't put it on also. So I've got 3 monsters that do defense breaks, so that's great. So here he comes, and he didn't have it again. Like I said, it's 6 or 7 times out of 10 he'll have it. It just depends on the RNG of the waves. But see, so now the reason, so the Vampire Lord is there for multiple reasons. First, he's there for the attack power leader skill. So he gives 38% attack power bonus to everybody who's hitting, which is really nice. It makes the dungeon go faster. And then he's also my backup beneficial effects blocker. I really encourage you, when you're putting together your Steel Fortress 10 team, is to have 2 monsters that do block beneficial effects. One is your primary, and then the other one's your backup. So if the primary misses, if your primary misses, the boss will put up a shield and a defense buff, and you're just going to have to strip those off. But then you hope that your backup beneficial effects blocker will block effects, and then you can strip off the buffs, and then the team can slowly work the boss down. Once again, he doesn't have it, so let's see if so the Dark Vampire Lord did not use his skill 2, and Zinc came back and used his skill 3, so now the beneficial effects are blocked. We need Loren to strip them off, or we just do enough damage to get rid of the shield. Loren just stripped off the defense buff off the boss. So really the towers can't do very much. The Fran's providing immunity to reduce the debuffs on us. Loren is there just to strip off any buffs or put on the boss before we block beneficial effects. So she also provides attack speed slow, defense break to do more damage, and then Crow's there for big damage and also to use his team up to reduce the cooldowns of the other monsters. So you have, if he teams up with either the Vampire Lord or Zinc, he's resetting their skills that can block beneficials, and so you have that skill available more often, makes it get used more often, and makes it easier. Get the boss blocked, and then it's just a matter of time. And so let's see how we've been doing. First run was a minute 27, a minute 56, a minute 47, a minute 54. So I would say that the average has been right around about a minute and a half, a minute and 40. So like I said, Zinc goes first. He's plus 137 speed. He's over 2,000 defense and almost 20,000 HP. Don't care about attack. He's not ruined to do damage. His crit rate's only 44. Crit damage is 56. I wish his resistance was higher, but his accuracy is 55. So he's on Swift. Speed, defense, defense. And I've got pretty good HP subs there. There's 18, 11. Well, this needs a lot of grinds. More HP there, 22% HP there, 7% there. And you can see he still has a lot of room for improvement. Skill 2 does more damage based on his defense, and also more damage on his defense on skill 3. So if I keep adding in those grinds and gems, he'll do even more damage. And he doesn't do a lot. Oh, his skill 1 needs a... That's weird. Let's fix that. He should be fully skilled. I don't know why he isn't. I must have just forgot about that. So we're going to go in here, go into the sealed shrine, and we're going to find here we go, one of these guys. Power him up. And there we go. Skill 1 is now fully skilled, and that gives him an extra 10% to land that stun or attack speed slow, which is very important. So he does not need to be on Swift. The reason I have him on Swift is I just wanted him to move first, and you can use Swift, so you don't have to have a ton of speed subs. So 17 there, 7 there, 14, 15, 17. So he's got decent speed subs, but not anything that's crazy. And then Will is to avoid any debuffs on his first turn on each wave. And he's got defense and defense. Crit damage taken minus 10%. Does some more damage there with the other 3 stats. Damage taken from wind is minus 15%. That really helps out. And then crit damage taken again and a little more damage. So that's Zinc. And then up next is Fran. You'll see I have 3 Frans and 3 Lorens, so it's always a challenge to remember who is where. But I know my 229 speed Fran is the one that is used in Steel Fortress. So Fran is Violent Shield, Speed, HP, and you can see almost every rune need at least 3 of the runes. 3 of the runes still need grinds, so Fran can be way better too. And then just basically 1,200 or 1,500 HP on each artifact. Although this one is skill 3 recovery plus 6, and then defense proportional lost HP is 34%. So Fran gets a lot more tanky as she gets taken down in HP. So that's Fran. So she's at 190 speed. and she's on Revenge, Vile Revenge. So speed, HP, and you can see these runes are nothing to write home about. In fact, one of the things I wanted to point out is that when you're building your dungeon teams, you don't need to use your top runes with speed. You can save those for your siege monsters for later. In RTA, you can use a different set of runes all you want. So I was making the mistake of putting my best speedy runes on some of my dungeons teams so that I could also use them in siege. But now that I've got enough Frans and Lorens, I can actually rune each one for a specific dungeon or set of dungeons, and then keep another one that's faster for siege. So that's an important tip, I think. She does a pretty good job. Her AI is still wonky, but there's not much you can do about that. So Zinc into Fran into Loren, and then Vampire Lord goes next, and he's got a fight rune set and also a ally resistance set. Not that ally resistance is amazing or anything, but they were decent runes I had that allowed me to go speed, crit damage, defense. And the Vampire Lord is not there to do more damage. He's there to take a bunch of hits, act as a dark tank, and just let people hit him. And his runes also need more grinds. And those, it's not his permanent runes. He'll get ones better over time. And then he's also got an HP artifact here with skill 1 crit damage, skill 2 accuracy. Speed up effect really doesn't help that much. This is not a great, it's a green artifact, but it helps. Defense proportion to lost HP, which is really nice. Crit damage taken from wind -6%. So this really helps him be more tanky, and it's 100 defense versus 1500 HP. So these are his stats. He's just over 200 speed, over 1500 defense, over 17,000 HP, and some attack too. But his crit rate, crit damage aren't any good. His resistance is decent, accuracy is decent. I think, yeah. His attack artifact has skill 2 accuracy +9. So that way it's 51%, which is still a little low, but it's decent. And then finally Crow goes. He's 98% crit rate, 200% crit damage. He's got some good accuracy, so he can land his defense break. Over 10k HP added. Over 2,000 attack total. His speed's really slow, and that's a problem. I need to get his speed higher, but I would have to sacrifice a lot of crit rate or crit damage to do that. So, not ready to do that yet. Rage Blade, attack, crit damage, attack with crit rate, crit damage. Always trying to get a little bit of speed in there. And then this resistance can be changed out to speed, or maybe attack percent. Room to improve on these runes as well. So that's my Steel Fortress 10 team for an LD only account. All monsters super easy to get, except for Zinc. It can take a while to get him. Gina would be an acceptable option, and then you really only have access to one beneficial effects blocker for a light and dark only account, unless you get lucky with summons. And the only one there is the Dark Vampire Lord. And his AI is a little wonky. He usually will do skill 3 when he has it available, which does the attack buff and vampire effect on everybody. But I've seen him do his skill 3, and then he gets an immediate turn after doing that, and he'll go and use skill 1 when he has skill 2 available. And skill 2 is the one that does the block beneficial effects. So I don't understand why he does that. It's just the way it is. So if the only one you have is Dark Vampire Lord, he's going to be a little bit trickier for auto runs because he just likes to use his skill 1 first sometimes, and that puts up the shield and the defense buff, which really slows down your completion time. Zinc is actually, he seems to be the smartest of any of the monsters I've tried, and that's probably because his skill 3 is like most monsters who have skill 3s. That's their highest priority, and the AI usually chooses that if it's available. So that's why this is so good. Gina will work if you can't pull Zinc. Linda will work if you can't pull Zinc. And I have never actually tried Glynodon. His skill 2 is block beneficial effects. I'm assuming that when his skill 2 is available, he'll want to use it. You would hope that he would have that available when you get into the boss wave. I knew the Vampire Lord would be better, that Zinc would be awesome, and Linda and Gina are both acceptable backups. So those are the 4 I would choose, unless you get lucky and you choose some of these other ones. So that's the Steel Fortress team, and we can go see how it finished up. So a minute 46 runtime on average over 10 runs, and that's pretty close to where it usually is. So that's it for this one, folks. I really wanted to get this video out to show you this really solid Steel Fortress team. It's one of my best dungeon teams right now. Really happy about it. For those of you following along on the LD only challenge, I really encourage you to build it. And it's using monsters that you're going to use all over the place anyway. So it's a really good team. Until next time, see ya.